Have you ever stopped and looked around your home only to feel overwhelmed? Not by noise, not by chaos, but by things. Closets filled with clothes you haven't worn in years, drawers packed with gadgets you forgot you owned, rooms that feel full, yet strangely empty. It happens slowly, one purchase here, one good deal there, until one day you realize your home isn't just full, it's weighing you down. Now, imagine walking into a small apartment in Tokyo. The air feels lighter. Every item has a place and a purpose. There's peace in the simplicity. But here's the secret most people miss. Japanese minimalism isn't just about clean spaces or pretty design. It's a lifestyle built on quiet discipline, tiny habits, and smart choices that slowly but surely transform your life, including your finances. In this video, we'll uncover the everyday habits of Japanese minimalists that can help you save more, stress less, and live with greater freedom, not by earning millions, but by choosing wisely. Are you ready to rethink what it means to live well? Let's begin. It starts innocently. A photo frame on sale, a new pair of shoes, just because they were 40% off, a kitchen gadget that promised to change your life, and now lives at the back of a drawer. We don't set out to clutter our lives, but clutter rarely arrives all at once. It creeps in, quietly, invisibly, until one day we're surrounded by things we no longer use, no longer need, but can't seem to let go of. In America, the average home contains over 300,000 items. Let that number sink in. 300,000, and yet we often say, I have nothing to wear. I need more storage. I'll feel better after I buy just one more thing. But what if it's not more that we need? What if it's less? Because here's the truth. Clutter isn't just physical. It's emotional. It's mental. It weighs on your peace of mind. It steals your time. Cleaning, organizing, looking for lost items, and quietly it drains your energy and finances. You might be thinking, but I worked hard for these things. And yes, you did. But ask yourself, how many of them truly bring you joy? How many are simply there? Here's a thought. Next time you walk through your home, look at each item and ask, is this helping me live the life I want? Or is it just taking up space? Because sometimes the first step toward financial freedom is learning to let go. Picture this, a one-bedroom apartment in Kyoto. Wooden floors, soft, natural light. A futon neatly folded in the corner. One low table, 2 cups of tea, and a single bonsai tree by the window. No clutter, no excess, just calm. But don't mistake this for coldness or lack. Japanese minimalism isn't about having less, it's about having enough. Enough to live, enough to breathe, enough to feel at peace when you walk through the door. What many of us see as empty, they see as freedom. Every object has a role. Every corner breathes. And because their homes aren't filled with distractions, neither are their minds. A Japanese friend once told me, we clean our homes not to impress others, but to respect ourselves. And that hits deep. In Japan, this simplicity is not just cultural, it's spiritual. Rooted in Zen, it teaches that clarity outside creates clarity within. This is why their minimalism isn't just a design choice, it's a philosophy, a path to balance, not just with space, but with money, time, and meaning. When you remove the noise, you begin to hear your true needs. When you strip away the excess, your values become clear. And when your life is designed with intention, your choices become powerful. Imagine waking up tomorrow in a home that feels like a deep breath. No piles to sort, no clutter to clean, just space, inside and out. That's the beauty of simplicity. And it's a beauty that can change far more than your home. We often think wealth arrives like a winning lottery ticket, sudden, grand, life-changing. But in truth, wealth is quiet. It builds in the background, day by day, choice by choice. Think about it. It's not the $5 coffee that ruins your finances. It's the habit of never asking if that $5 could go somewhere better. In Japan, they understand this deeply. Their financial wisdom isn't built on bold moves or risky bets. It's built on tiny, deliberate habits, repeated consistently over time. Wake up. Make tea instead of buying coffee. Cook lunch from leftovers. Walk instead of drive when possible. Each action is small, insignificant on its own, but like drops of water filling a jar, they accumulate. Here's what they do differently. They don't wait for the big break to start building wealth. They start with what they have, right now. It's the habit of asking before every purchase, does this serve a purpose or a passing feeling? It's the decision to put away $10 today, not wait for $1,000 tomorrow. And perhaps most powerfully, it's the belief that small steps matter. A Japanese proverb says, even dust when piled up becomes a mountain. In other words, small efforts when repeated become transformation. So ask yourself, what small habit could you start today? What quiet decision could become your turning point? Because real wealth doesn't require a miracle. It requires a mindset. And that mindset starts with the next small step. Let's be honest. Most of us don't overspend because we're reckless. We overspend because we're unaware. A sale flashes across the screen. A friend recommends a gadget. You're tired, stressed, and that little treat feels like a reward. We tell ourselves, it's just a few dollars. I deserve this. I'll figure it out later. But later becomes debt, becomes anxiety, becomes a house full of things that don't make us any happier. In Japan, there's a habit that changes everything: conscious consumption. It's not about depriving yourself. It's about pausing before you spend. Instead of asking, can I afford this? They ask, do I need this? Will I still want it tomorrow? One simple habit that works wonders: the 24-hour rule. You see something you want? Wait 24 hours. If you still want it and it still makes sense, go for it. But more often than not, the urge fades. Let me tell you about Marie, a 62-year-old viewer who shared her story. She used to buy something small every time she felt lonely: a pair of earrings, a kitchen tool, even more coffee mugs. One day, she challenged herself. No purchases without a 24-hour wait. The result? In 3 months, she saved $600. But more importantly, she felt in control again. Because here's the truth: spending less doesn't mean living less. It means living better. You begin to value what you own. You surround yourself with things that serve you, not drain you. You free up money, not for more stuff, but for more life. So the next time you're tempted to buy something on a whim, ask, is this a need or is this noise? Because the quieter your spending becomes, the louder your life can speak. In the Western world, we celebrate the big win, the overnight success, the sudden breakthrough. But in Japan, they cherish something far more powerful: Kaizen, the art of continuous incremental improvement. It's not flashy, it's not fast, but it works. Kaizen says, don't aim for massive change overnight. Aim for better today. Apply that to your finances and something magical happens. Start by tracking where your money goes, not to judge yourself, but to understand yourself. Then find one small leak to fix. Maybe it's that unused subscription. Maybe it's eating out one less time per week. Next, automate a tiny saving: $5, $10. Not enough to feel, but enough to build. Then check your bills. Can you negotiate a lower rate? Switch to a cheaper plan? Not exciting, maybe, but over time, powerful. It's like pushing a snowball down a hill. At first, it barely moves, but as it rolls, it gathers weight, momentum, strength. Kaizen turns quiet effort into unstoppable progress. And the best part? It fits your life. No burnout, no guilt. Just small, steady steps, each one building trust with yourself. Each one saying, I'm taking care of my future. Remember, true wealth isn't built in a weekend. It's built in the ordinary moments when you decide to do just a little better than yesterday. So today, pick one small habit, one tiny change, because with Kaizen, that's all it takes to begin. For most of us, saving money feels like saying no to the things we love. No to dinners out, no to comfort, no to joy. But in Japan, saving isn't about saying no. It's about saying yes to peace, to freedom, to the life you truly want. From a young age, Japanese children are taught to treat money with respect, not fear, not obsession, just quiet, steady respect. They learn to separate needs from wants. They learn that saving, even just a few coins, is an act of self-respect. It's not punishment, it's preparation. And that mindset carries through their lives. They don't spend to impress. They spend to express care for their future, to express trust in slow, deliberate progress. They save, not because they're afraid of running out, but because they understand the value of enough. Now imagine bringing that mindset into your own life. Instead of cutting joy, you cut waste. Instead of strict budgets, you build small, lasting habits. You don't need to save $1,000 overnight. Start with $5, then $10, then automate it, so saving becomes effortless. What matters is the pattern, not the amount. And here's the beauty. As your savings grow, so does your confidence. You stop fearing bills. You stop dreading the future. You gain control, quietly, steadily. Because you've stopped living paycheck to paycheck. You've started building a cushion between you and chaos. You've stopped chasing more and started protecting what matters most. So don't ask yourself, what do I have to give up to save? Ask instead, what do I want to build? Because saving isn't a sacrifice. It's an investment in peace, in choice, in freedom. And like the Japanese have known all along, those small, consistent choices, they lead to something extraordinary. If there's one thing the past few years have taught us, it's this. Relying on a single paycheck is fragile. One layoff, one illness, one unexpected change, and suddenly everything feels uncertain. But in Japan, many people quietly prepare for this, not with fear, but with flexibility. They embrace something simple yet powerful, diversifying their income. Not everyone starts a business. Not everyone becomes an investor, but nearly everyone finds a second stream, something small, manageable, and meaningful. It could be teaching piano a few hours a week, selling handmade crafts online, writing articles, consulting, tutoring, even renting out a spare room. The goal isn't to get rich fast. The goal is freedom. Freedom from fear, freedom from depending on one source, one boss, one company. And here's the good news. At your age, you have something incredibly valuable: experience, wisdom, skills people are willing to pay for. You've lived, you've learned, you've built things, solved problems, raised families. That's gold. So what if you took just one part of that life experience and turned it into a small income stream? Nothing overwhelming, just enough to ease the pressure, to create options, to feel proud. In Japan, a minimalist with a part-time side income doesn't feel burdened. They feel secure. And that's the shift. More income isn't about buying more stuff. It's about buying peace of mind. So ask yourself, what do I already know how to do? What brings me joy that could help someone else? Then start small, start quiet, but most importantly, start. Because every extra dollar you earn is one less dollar you have to worry about. And in a world that changes fast, that's one of the smartest moves you can make. What is wealth? Really? Is it a bigger house, a newer car, a bank account with more zeros? Or is it something simpler and far more precious? In Japan, many believe true wealth isn't measured in things, but in time, in freedom, in the ability to say yes to what matters and no to what doesn't. Because what good is more money if it costs you your peace? Think about it. So many of us work hard for decades, saving, climbing, pushing, only to look back and wonder, where did the time go? We traded hours for dollars, weekends for overtime, memories for merchandise. But what if you could turn that around? The minimalist mindset doesn't ask you to live with nothing. It asks you to live with intention, to spend not just your money, but your time on what truly fills you up. Moments with family, a quiet morning, a walk without your phone, a passion you finally have time to pursue. That is wealth. It's having enough saved to sleep well at night, enough flexibility to take a break when life demands it, enough clarity to choose presence over pressure. And here's the beautiful truth. You don't have to wait for retirement to feel that way. It starts with a shift, a pause before the next purchase, a choice to build slowly, live simply, and spend wisely. Because when you do, life gets lighter, your mind gets clearer, and every day feels more like your own. So maybe wealth isn't about having it all. Maybe it's about having enough time, enough peace, enough freedom to finally live as you. If this message resonates with you, leave a comment below. What does wealth mean to you? If you're ready to start living with more clarity and less clutter, like, subscribe, and most importantly, share this video with someone you care about. Because sometimes the smallest shift in mindset can create the biggest change in life. See you in the next one.